Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the anatomy of an HTML page. We're going to talk about what are HTML tags and the tags required to create a valid HTML page. So let's get started. First off, the best way to learn the anatomy of HTML page is to look at an existing one. So let's go to a website. I'm going to go to cheese.com. And if you're on a Windows operating system, on a browser such as Chrome, Firefox, or Internet Explorer, or Edge, if you hit F12, you'll see the developers tool, and that's what you see here on the left side. I'm sorry, the right side. You can also get to the developers tool in Chrome by clicking on this menu on the top right, going to More Tools, and clicking on Developer Tools. Once here, you're going to see a few headers, elements, console, sources, network, and this is a very useful tool if you want to look at the network of a website or look at the JavaScript or CSS. But today we're going to focus on elements, and this is going to show us the HTML that makes up this page. So at first glance, it looks pretty complicated. I can scroll down and I can see these weird characters, divs, UL, LI, something called script, a bunch of green text. But don't let it fool you. It's not that complicated. When we break it down, it's actually pretty simple. But before we move on, I wanted to show you one more trick. If you wanted to see how they created this gray box, instead of looking for it in this in the HTML itself, you can right-click on the box and click on Inspect, and in the Dev tool, it'll take you straight to the item that you right-clicked on. So you can see that when I highlight this element in the HTML, the corresponding box on the left side, the page itself, is highlighted, and as I move the mouse up and down, different elements on the page is highlighted. So it's a neat trick to figure out how things are done so you can copy it on your own page. Okay, let's get down to writing some HTML. I normally use Notepad, but in this case I'm going to use Notepad++. It's similar to Notepad, except it's a little more powerful, and it allows me to zoom in so you can see the HTML better. Okay, as I said, an HTML page is made up of HTML tags. What exactly is a tag? Well, tags are special containers that make up the page, and they usually come in pairs. So a tag will look something like this. You have your open bracket, your tag name, your closing bracket, and somewhere after that you have your closing tag, which has an open bracket, a /, the tag name, and then the closing bracket. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. So in the HTML world, this is a tag. Now there are something like 90 tags that you can use, but you don't have to worry. You won't have to memorize all 90 of them. If anything, you're only going to use a handful on a regular basis, and those will be easy to memorize. Okay, some rules for creating your tags. As I stated, they usually come in pairs, so you're always going to have one opening tag and one closing tag with the /. And think of tags as containers, so you can put other tags in these tags. So I can say, let's say tag name 2. Tag name and tag name 2 aren't real tags. I'm just using them for examples. In a little bit we'll get into actual tags, but you can see that tags are containers, and I can put tags within tags. And in here I can put another tag also. Another rule, tags cannot overlap. Meaning, if I start a tag here and then I start a second tag, I must close the second tag first before closing the first tag. So I cannot do this. This is invalid HTML because you're opening tag name, then opening tag name 2, but you're closing tag name before you close tag name 2. So there's no overlapping. In HTML, some tags work together. For example, the table tag by itself doesn't do anything. You need the table row tag or the table header tag to actually display text. But that's for another video. That's just a rule that applies to some of the tags. Okay, so let's see what's required to create a simple HTML page. The first tag we need is HTML. So we have the opening tag and the closing tag. Inside the HTML tag, we're going to have two main tags. One's called head and one's called body. The head tag is for information that won't actually appear on the page itself. It's the description of the page, it's the title of the page, it's where you put your JavaScript or your reference to your style sheets, things like that. So for now, all we're going to focus on is the title because that's what we see in the tab in the browser. And then we need to close it. The content that appears on the actual page will be in the body tag. So here I'm going to do my usual hello world and then save it. I'm going to call it index.html. And then I'm going to open it in Chrome. And you can see my hello world, and in the dev tool on the right side you can see the HTML that we've created. The title of my awesome page appears up here in the tab. Now if I go back and say my awesomer page and change the body and save it, when I refresh this page, I could see that the content changed, the title also got updated, as well as the HTML in the dev tools on the right side. So that's it for the basic anatomy of an HTML page. Of course, this is nowhere near a complete example. You have things like the A tag for links, you have the image tag for images, you have the table tag like I stated before, you have the paragraph tags, a whole bunch of tags you could use to lay out your page and make it look a lot nicer, but those will be in other videos. In this video I just wanted to cover what was necessary to create an HTML page and explain tags and how they work. Okay, I hope you create your own index page, play around with it, play around with the dev tools. Here, again, hit F12 to see it. And before we go, here's another trick. If you just double click on this, on the dev tool and edit the content, it will also update your page here on the left. But this change will disappear if you refresh the page because it'll reload the original file. There you go. All right. That's it. Until then, keep coding.